Hey beauties, morning to you. So, somebody sent me something on Instagram, with Andre Stevens at Matilda's Corner Police Station. And his service was not good on the basis of what he was saying, on the basis of his complaint and being irate. All right, I'm not into police bashing or anything like that because for years police have gotten it with civilians. I don't know. There's always this dichotomy, this split, this discord between civilians and police officers. And because we talk about the brutality of police officers towards civilians, especially back in the day, and still happens today to some extent, depending on the area in which you reside or work perhaps, but usually where you reside. If they perceive you to be of the lower class, you're treated of such, you're treated poorly, low, as though you're indigent, you have no use, you serve no purpose. So you should be treated almost like a common fowl, like a cockroach sort of a situation. Now, to the police officer that, initially was dealing with it, the reason why I would fault you in a sense is that, one, you should not have shut the door in his face. And really, you shouldn't have said to him that you're tired. If you're tired, you better go take a little break in the barrack area. Or if your tiredness can lead to illness, if you lack sufficient sleep, go home. Your health is your wealth. Your health comes first. It comes first. So you really, and depending on the tone and the mode in which you would have said it, if perhaps you said, oh God, I've been here for the last 15 hours and my brain isn't fully functional. I'm really tired now. I'm going to put you on to so-and-so, this particular officer with a constable this, DC that, corporal this, sergeant that, as the case may be. But to say it and shut the door in his face or slam the door in his face on the account of what he has said, no, that is definitely rude and disrespectful. Because I guarantee you, if it was somebody else from the upper echelon or the prime minister, somebody of clout, and a certain type of influence and money, you would not have done it. Tired as you be, you wouldn't have done it. And you and I both know that. Yes, maybe he got a little irate and, got really, really angry and so on. But the reality is he mentioned to you guys that he's diabetic and he was there for 2 hours. Now, I've heard about people with diabetes, how bad it can get. They can get into a whole diabetic shock. And it can be disastrous. So the fella knows the situation and he said he came to make a report, a complaint, and you took in the other, on the basis of what he said, he said he's a victim and the other person would be the perpetrator. And and I put the word perpetrator in quotations. I'm not, really, I'm just using it for conversational purposes. Was inside giving her statement while he was on the outside. He was very angry because he said he was there for 2 hours and you shut the door in his face and all of that. Customer service is indicative of, let me put it this way, bad treatment as well. In other words, even amidst bad treatment, you are the one who need to exemplify the good customer service, the excellent, the exceptional customer service. I'm not saying that you cannot be human, police officer. No, I'm not ridiculous. You can be, but you have to be very cognizant, and the part where you say you're tired. It's not like you went to your home and you shut the door. It's a government property, a government place. So you really have no right to shut the door in his face. I'm not saying that he must be rude and disrespectful and do all manner of evil towards you. If you consider that he was doing that, but he felt that you disrespected him. He felt that you were rude. He felt that, you were discourteous and you were not helpful. As I said, if you feel tired and you could not take the complaint, the report, then put him on to somebody else, because I'm sure that you're not the only officer there. Say, all right, excuse me a moment, Mr. Stevens, I'm not fully functional right now. I'm super tired or whatever it is. I'm going to put you on to, as I said, whomever. We have to find ways, officers, to mitigate this sort of a diatribe and this discord between police officers and civilians. I'm tired of it. I'm really tired of seeing it and hearing it. And I'm saying that you would have almost, it's like people would say you would almost caused him to behave the way he did towards you. because of he would consider it poor service. So police officers, you have to think, change. You have to, the Bible says, he that keepeth his mouth keepeth his life. And, when you're a wise man or a wise woman builds his house upon the rock, you have to build your houses, your social, how you build that social camaraderie with people, with civilians on the rock. You can't build it on sinking sand. Gone are those days now. Put that aside. Jamaica is already in a lot of rut. The decadence and the stench is awful. And when I say stench, I'm talking about psychological, financial, emotional, mental stench. Is terrible. Jamaica is in a crisis. We're not doing well, by and large. So I'm encouraging you, police officers, to whom much is given, much is required. You're trained that way. Remember your mission. You're here to serve, to protect, and to reassure. And I'm not saying that you cannot be human. No, I'm not saying that. But sometimes I've seen how some of you behave, and I understand that your condition isn't good. I've often pleaded and prodded and, begged almost the powers that be to pay public sector work as well, because I know that is part and parcel. You guys are not rewarded and remunerated the way you ought to, and you have to work long hours in shoddy, very shabby conditions in some of the stations. I understand that it is not easy, but I know you want to load a face the crunch and the pangs of challenges of life. There are many of all of us. Nobody's exempt, whether you're rich, poor, in between. We're all facing some sort of a tragedy, some sort of a challenge, some sort of a difficulty, but we have to manage it. When I come to work, even if I'm having a bad day, it's not right for me to start to talk to people with disrespect. They're not going to take it. They might take it for the first day and say, this is unlike Toni-Ann to be speaking to me like this. I'm going to allow it. But another day and another day, they're going to call me aside and say, come here to, Can me too, I have my problems and me can't throw it out on you. So that is where I would say you were wrong, because you're at your place of employment, and it's not about just the customers being right. To shut the door and the person slam. That's disrespectful. I tell you, there's something about the face. When something disrespects our face, it's one of the highest forms of disrespect. Whether they box you in the face, spit you in the face, thump you in the face, kick you in the face, slam door in your face. It's like our anger level just go right up from 0 to 100 instantly. Like when a high fever take over somebody because of a poison. Yes, he probably could have been calm, but think about it, people. He said he's diabetic, and to be sitting for 2 hours. Sometimes in Jamaica, I find that if you don't behave raucous, sort of vulgar and boisterous, and get out of character, a good character, things won't be dealt with. So I'm not saying that throughout it, he could have, calm. After a while, he did. When the officer begged him and said, please, I'm on a call, or whatever he said he was on. Please take the noise down. And he did. But sometimes when you talk about it, you think about the person being rude to you. It takes a while to come out of the system. It takes a while. It takes a while to come out of the system. And it's until we're in the position we will understand. Don't do that. Don't, officer, not do that. And if you're tired, you're entitled to feel tired. If you're tired, you're tired. But deal with it in a more professional manner. Say to the individual, let me put you on to somebody else. Let me put you on to another officer. And let me just, because I've been working how many hours. I know that oftentimes you guys work very long hours. All right? And if you're a station manager or sub-officer or whatever it is, it may be even more difficult. You probably have to wait until you get sufficient help before you can move on to your to go home or to take your break or whatever it is that you need to do. But don't slam any door in anybody's face. Don't shut any door in it. No, it's not your home. It is not your home. If you're at your home, if you're home. Now, although you know if you disrespect people still, whether you're in your home, but you would have a little bit more right, and I put right in quotation, so to speak. But how the people in place say, I know your place. I know your place. I know your place. After a while, you will no longer be working there. Whether through retirement or you get a different job, you migrate, or God forbid if you should pass. Before time, so to speak. But don't do it, officer. Don't do that. That part, So you would have nullified. So even though he may have behaved a way that you might not like, you would have ended up nullifying that. Because you work at the organization and you slam the door in his face and tell him about it tired and all right, not really chiding you, but just cautioning you. Guys, follow me on TikTok, subscribe to my YouTube